Well, hello everyone, Passek, FlyFish Fanatic, and welcome to my tying bench. Today we will be doing a small little Chironomid pattern. It's all copper. It's got a little bit of a kind of a coppery stretch floss as one of the ribs, and then a little tiny black one as a secondary rib. Makes that the ribs stand out, having that black one in there. You'll see when we're tying it, but I found this one can be extremely effective, especially I found in low light conditions. So first thing in the morning, late in the evening, or cloud cover. I've really done well with this one at times throughout the year. At other times, just like any Chironomid, at other times they won't touch it, right? So it's just another one of those flies that I make sure I always have in my kit. So all right. Hope you guys enjoy it. Let's get tying. So in the vise, we have a Hends BL550 in a size 12. This is a clink hammer hook. There's also the 554, which is a little bit more scud hook style. I really like these clink hammer style. They get a little flatter thorax section. So that's the hook. For the thread, we're going to be using some Semperfli Nanosilk in copper. For the body, we're going to be using some Semperfli Holo Tinsel in copper. For the main rib, we're going to be using some Hends Flexi Floss in this kind of a coppery brown. For the tying wire, for the other secondary rib, we're going to be using some tying wire in black from Semperfli, the 0.1. I also use the 0.2, and I'll show you at the end the 0.1 and the 0.2, the difference. And then I'm also going to be using some Semperfli Classic Waxed and a fluorescent red for the hot spot. So let us start. And this is not a 1/8, sorry, a 5/16 bead. So I'm just going to go all the way back. Snip that off. Just going to make sure I cover up my thread cutoff point. I'm just going to come all the way down around this corner, and then in open wraps I'll come back. So now you want to, whatever is your last to wrap is your first to be added. So I'm going to be adding my wire first. And just lay this in on my side. Again, open wraps, this doesn't matter. We'll clean up the body later. And come back over again. And I'm going to put this out of my way in my material holder. And then I'm going to take my Hends Body Flex body material. It's basically stretch floss is what it is. It comes on a little roll, and it's this one's a kind of a coppery red. So stretch floss, give it a really good stretch. Doesn't have to, like I said, again, don't have to make sure the body is perfect yet. And I'm going to put that in my material clip as well. Then I'm going to take some of that copper Holo Tinsel. I'm going to start that up there. Again, all the way back. My tie-in point for where I stopped with the ribs. Now I'll take my bobbin, give it a bit of a counterclockwise spin. You guys don't see that right now, but it is giving a counterclockwise spin. I just want to, actually gonna have to give it a clockwise spin because I got some there. The wire got in there. Counterclockwise spin because I want to flatten my thread here. It keeps the body a little thinner. Okay, keeps the body a little thinner, and it because it flattens out, it covers a bit more too, right? So now I'm just going to bring that all the way forward, and then I'm going to flatten it again. It's funny, I've gotten so used to the Stoneful bobbin, sorry, that I'm now using an offset TMCO for this one, and it doesn't spin as nice, obviously, because it's offset. So I'm just going to come back about 3/4 of the way, and then I'll come back again, forward, touching wraps. Now, build up a bit in the front here, come back about halfway, come back forward again. So if you don't want to sit here and spin thread like crazy, because I mean these GSPs, the Nanosilks, any of these, they're not cheap, right? So you can use a classic waxed here, or a thicker thread that just will build up this body a little quicker. It's up to you. I really like the Nanosilk. I like the effect it has at the end here. So that's it. So now I'm going to take my Holo tinsel, and I'm going to come, and in touching maybe slightly overlapping wraps, I'm just going to slowly come forward. Again, that's why I use that copper. Oh, just cut it. That's okay. I must have touched the hook tip with that. So yeah, like I said, I like the Nanosilk. I like the way it goes on. So I'm just going to make sure that that little bit gets tightened down there, just like it. I like the fact that I can have a really low profile. So let's see if I can do this without cutting it again. And I like using that, like I said, like I was saying when it broke, I like using the same or close to the same color underbody thread as the body material, just in case, because I don't want to overlap this. I don't want it to get too thick, so it's a fairly thin, fairly touching. And if I don't get it exactly perfect, that underbody thread is going to be very close to the same color, so it won't matter too crazy much. So 3 or 4 times over it, a couple of times behind. I actually love it when I do a video and little things happen, little mistakes, because it shows everybody that you're not always perfect. So now I'm going to take the stretch and I'm going to go opposite direction. Actually, I'm going to put a half hitch in, because I know myself, I have a tendency of bumping it. So a half hitch, and that way I know even if I do bump it, it won't fall off. So really good stretch to start. Really good stretch. Get that first rib going, and then slightly let go of it. Slightly let go of it. Slightly let go of it. So it's getting almost, it's giving an illusion of taper, because I'm letting that stretch floss get thicker, so it just gives an illusion of taper. Again, just give that a little stretch, not too much, and you'll get that to suck in. There you go. A couple more turns over top, and again I do a half hitch because I know myself. And now with the black wire, I'm going to go the same direction, and I'm just going to catch that leading edge. Okay, leading edge of that last rib. If you want to do the trailing edge, you can. It gives it a slight different look, but that's all cool. So this, again, just helping define that segmentation, and adds a little bit of color in that black. Now, just going to helicopter that. Take my whip finisher. Just give it a couple 3-4 turn whip finish here. Good enough. Cut that off. Now you can leave it there if you want. I really like having this little bright orange hot spot at the front. It doesn't take many wraps. Just wrapped enough just to get a hot spot in there. Now just finish it from the back, coming forward. One more. In there. Make sure that's seated well. Get in there, nip that off. I always like taking a lighter and covering up the plastic part and just hitting that thread with a lighter just to get that little tag end in. Okay. Then you can either go with a Gulf resin or like a Sally Hansen's. This one I'll just put a really thin coat of resin on it, and I'll show you the other one with the thicker wire, and it's got a Sally Hansen's on it. So don't want a ton, so I'm going to put some on the top like that, and then I'll spread it around. So you want to make sure this whole thing is covered, especially that hot spot, because that will be a weak spot. So just get that nicely covered, and I'll just, sorry if it keeps going out of frame there, but just how it has to go here. Just going to give that a nice zap with the UV light. There's your finished fly. Fairly simple, gives that nice segmented little look there. See if I can get a little close up. And there you go. So it's got that nice segmented look for that little black wire. And you got that brown in there, and then that copper under, that shiny copper underbody. This one stands out a lot. It really does. So, so there's the one with the 0.1 mil black wire, and here's the one with 0.2 and Sally Hansen's coating. So it's quite a bit more predominant, the black, right? So it depends what you're wanting. I prefer this one I tried for you guys, but I do like having some with the more predominant rib.